This is what you get when you let uninformed people have access to social media. Who was in control prior to Trump? 12 years. Dems held office. Look at the mess New York and California are in. Again, Dem policies are failing. Okay, so what you're seeing here is a guy trying to blame Democratic control prior to Donald Trump on the fuck-ups of Donald Trump with a bullshit narrative. 12 years Democrats were in office, held office. What he's referring to is the number of years that we had a Democratic president. We had 4 years of Biden. We had 8 years of Obama. We had 8 years of Clinton. We also had 8 years of Bush Jr. We had 4 years of Bush Sr., 8 years of Reagan, and we're going to have 8 years of Donald Trump. What he doesn't take into consideration is who controlled Congress. See, presidents, contrary to the popular belief of geniuses like this, we don't have dictators. We have presidents, and Congress makes laws. And I've done about 12.5 videos explaining to people just like this guy how Congress was not controlled by Democrats for 12 years. And some of the messes that we're in are bipartisan, and a lot of them are Republican. But you see, it doesn't sink in with guys like this, because then he goes on to prove how little he knows about what's going on in this country. Look at the mess New York and California are in. New York and California are a mess. New York State and California are a mess. Then why the hell do all of the Republican states live off of their money? Every single one of these blue states you see on the map, with the exception of one, New Mexico, takes in less federal funding than it generates. I live in Illinois, one of those blue states. We get about 68 cents back for every dollar we generate. Conversely, every single one of those red states in those sea of red maps that you guys like to put out there, every one of them, with the exception of 3, is a taker state. They take more federal funding than they generate. So if New York and California, which are 2 of the biggest donor states in the country, are a mess, what the hell does that say about all of those red states that live off of their money? What does it say about West Virginia and Alabama and Kentucky and Tennessee and Oklahoma? These red states that look at states like California and go, they're the problem, and then turn around and go, can I have some of their money, please? Democratic policies are failing. Democratic states and Democratic counties, those blue dots that you guys like to point to on those maps, those areas generate over 75% of the GDP in this country. Yeah, you guys got a shit ton of land, and you guys do a lot of really good things as far as growing food. But the money that's generated in this country, and where most of the people live in this country, are in those states that you say are a mess, that prop up your states all the time. And even when it comes to the few red states that aren't taker states, they still rely on our money. What the hell do you think happens every time a natural disaster hits Texas and their power grid fails? And they turn to the United States and go, can we have some help, please? Where the fuck do you think that money comes from? You think that money comes from Tennessee? Indiana? Montana? Idaho? No, it comes from California, Oregon, Washington State, Hawaii, Illinois, New York State, Minnesota. That's where the money comes to bail their asses out time and time again. But yeah, they're failing. Without those blue states and blue counties, you don't have a country, champ. Better yet, without all of those blue states generating all of that tax revenue, Donald Trump doesn't have the billions it takes to line his and his family's pockets.